Welcome today for a mystery that I cannot say the names of the countries, but what's going on in the Arab world, in your world, everywhere. And it's by law, L8W, legally. And let's see why. In the history, there was many places like Sodom and Amorah, where we were like all, man with animals and animals with animals, and, we all have this weakness or ignorance. Read the Old Testament and, But what's going on at this age now, in this so-called civilization, which is not, what's going on? Why we are all into this depression, repression, obstacles, sex. So when are we going to wake up and see sex as a sacred step between the two lovers? Proof that we are all into nuts. In a country, A, let's say it, men are legally allowed to have sex with animals, but the animals must be female. Having sexual relations with a male animal is punishable in person. Like that makes sense. You can fuck, animal that it's a male animal, but a female, you are homosexual, you are gay. Another B country, a male doctor may legally examine a woman's genitals, but is prohibited from looking directly at them during the examination. He may only see their reflection in a mirror, as if in the mirror they look different. This is all done by people who are so-called priests or imams, or they give all this fatwa. There are, like people belongs to a religion, Muslims or Christian, are banned from looking at the genitals of a corpse. This also applies to undertakers. The sex organs of the people who are deceased must be covered with a brick or a piece of wood at all times. This is a shame, even with dead people. Cover the penis, cover the vagina, put a brick on it. The penalty for masturbation is decapitation. Cut it. Much worse than going blind. It's in the Far East. There are men in so-called whose full-time job is to travel the countryside and deflower young virgins who pay them for the privilege of having sex for the first time. Why? In this law, in this village, in this country, it's expressly forbidden for virgins to marry. Let us just think for a minute. Is there any job anywhere else in the world that even comes close to this? It's not. It's unopened, returned, which is if you are a virgin, returned unopened. In Hong Kong, we can say this: a betrayed wife is legally allowed to kill her adulterous husband, but may only do so with her bare hands. You can kill. The husband's illicit lover, on the other hand, may be killed in any manner desired. Justice. Men and women, how they kill each other because you are into adultery. Topless saleswomen are legal in Liverpool, England, but only in tropical fish stores. These are laws. In Cali, Colombia, a woman may only have sex with her husband, and the first time this happens, who is going to be there? Her mother must be in the room to witness the act, that she's still virgin, or what he is doing with her daughter. Makes one, shudder at the thought. The mother is there watching. So disgusting and into this privacy, but it's in Colombia. In Bolivia, in Santa Cruz, it is illegal for a man to have sex with a woman and her daughter at the same time. You can do this, but not at the same time. I presume this was a big enough problem that they had to pass this law. They have laws. It's all on the sex, because we are all sexually ignorant and repressed from Adam and Eve put to live. In Maryland, America, it's illegal to sell condoms from vending machine, with one exception. And this exception, prophylactics may be dispensed from a vending machine only in places where alcoholic beverages are sold for consumption on the premises. Is this a great country or what? Well, not as great as Guam, what they do. If you are into alcohol or this, okay, you can have it. Other than this, no condoms. Banging your head against a wall uses 150 calories an hour. Who volunteers for these tests? Can you do this to lose 150 calories? The ant can lift 50 times its own weight, can pull 30 times its own weight, and always falls over on its right side when intoxicated. What? From drinking little bottles of what? A little bit of any drinks, of any water, they become like this, intoxicated. Did our government pay for this research? Butterflies taste with their feet. So we spend so much money for research on things that we really don't need. And the things that we need them, we don't research for them. Or there are, healers who are not into researching at all, but trying and testing. Like Bill Dufty and other people, Jim Humble, they said no need to pay for millions for dollars for research. Just we have this, try it on people who are dying of cancer or dying of AIDS. There's no other hope. Just give them this and see what happens in a few days. But we go on to this research. We spend the money and the time for researching about sexual depression, repression, and being with which animal and which country, and what to do with the mom and the dad and the children when having sex, and all this. So much waste of money and life, because this is where our thirst is, where our interest is. Tell me, what is your interest? Then I tell you. Tell me who is your friend. Tell me what do you eat. Then I tell you who you are. What is your hobby? What do you love to do? We are not doing, we are just being. And this is something that's really nice about on an airport, and somebody, a woman, getting a hair dryer through custom. A distinguished young woman on a flight from Ireland asked a priest beside her, "Father, may I ask you a favor?" "Of course, my child. What may I do for you?" "Well, I bought an expensive ladies' electronic hair dryer for my mother. It's my mother's birthday. That is, opened and well over the customs. If you open it and then they have to pay for it, please, can you hide it? Because I'm going to give it to my mom. It's unopened, just as a gift." And okay, he said, I can carry it with me. So he just, "I would love to help you, dear, but I must warn you, I will not lie. With your honest face, Father, no one will question you." When they got to customs, she let the priest go ahead of her. The official asked, "Father, do you have anything to declare?" And the father said, "From the top of my head down to my waist, I have nothing to declare." But the official thought this answer strange, so asked, "And what do you have to declare from the waist to the floor?" I have a marvelous instrument designed to be used only on women, but which is, to date, it's unused. It's still unused. Roaring with laughter, the official said, "Go ahead, Father, next." If you know how to use your joy or your joke or whatever you are carrying, it's a joke, and at the same time, you can do it. He was not lying, telling it's used by women, and it's still new, it's still virgin, nobody has used it, and they all laughed, said, okay, you can pass it. So jokes like this, it's very nourishing. As the bus stopped and it was her turn to get on, she became aware that her skirt was too tight to allow her, the legs to move. So she couldn't. And so she did this, to unzip this zipper. And then she couldn't, and also another time, and she couldn't, another time. So then, everybody wants to go up. So a little more embarrassed, she once again reached behind to her unzip, and then about this time, a large Texan who was standing behind her picked her up easily by the waist and placed her gently on the step of the bus. She went ballistic and turned, and she would smile and said, "How dare you touch my body? I don't even know who you are." The Texan smiled and said, "Well, ma'am, normally I would agree with you, but after you unzipped my flea 3 times, I can figure out, what the friends are saying." So instead of unzipping, her zipper, she did it for the man, unzipped him and then and 3 and on. So this is what you did for me, so I had to hold you and put you this. And that's great if you cannot feel your feeling and feel your zipper and your skirt. You touched the man already in doing this. Hot and cold sex. After his exam, the doctor said to the elderly man, "You appear to be in good health. Do you have any medical concern you would like to ask me about?" "In fact, I do," said the old man. "After I have sex, I am usually cold and chilly. And then after I have sex with her the second time, I'm usually hot and sweaty." After examining his elderly wife, the doctor said, "Everything appears to be fine. Do you have any medical concern what you would like to discuss with me?" The lady replied that she had no question or concern. The doctor said to her, "Your husband had an unusual concern. He claims that he is usually cold and chilly after having sex with you the first time, and then hot and sweat, after the second time. Do you have any answer for this? Do you know why he is feeling?" "Okay, that crazy old fool," she replied. "That's because the first time is usually in January and the second time is usually in August. So all what he does sex with the wife twice, in a cold weather and a hot weather. But he doesn't count like this. His countenance, his lie or his truth is totally different from what the doctor or the wife is saying. So what is true for you, it's a joke for the others, or it's only a lie. And accept them both and see the moral of the story about this. Why we say it, why we do it, And this is all what we said about all these people, all the countries that they go on, as we say, fucking animals or fucking each other or lying or doing all this. The word fuck is fornication under censorship of the king, which is now usually it's not that. But once when we know the reason or the cause, then you know what is the cure.